joining us here at Oulton Park's start-finish line. It's the Thundersport GB Championship, and you're joining us for Round 5, 2016.
Welcome to Oulton. It's the Dymag Wheels Golden Era Superbike class. The championship leader, John Dieterman, the champion of last year, looks tough to beat at the moment. Here we can see one of many riders looking to stop him from doing it. There is Dieterman. 71 was Richie Thornton. Here is number 35. Another Richie, Richard Stedman from Skegness. Number 6 there, Nick Williamson, currently second in the championship. 48, Richie Harrison. Look out for Ryan Strafford on that Honda as well, number 57. And away we go, racing as soon as those lights go out. Good start there for second place rider Richie Thornton, 71, but Dieterman might just get the whole shot into turn 1 and does. Number 99 on that lime green Kawasaki, Graham Ward from Leeds, as just coming around there, number 62, Graham Ashbridge. There's Dieterman then, Thornton up to second, Strafford aggressive into Cascades, he moves up into third place. There's Vince Carlton, number 37, just trying to find his way past a rider who, I think it was Graham Ward actually, I'm not sure. But here we are then, on board with Richie Thornton. What's happened to John Dieterman there? It's like he was stood still or stuck in mud. Stedman for a moment went into second place, but now Ryan Strafford has fought his way up there. They go over some cement dust that's been left down from earlier on. Number 49, the odd-looking bike in the middle of the picture there, is Howdell, number 49. Kev Howdell, Mr. L'Oreal himself, he's out there just enjoying himself basically, and letting his hair down, and amongst these Golden Era Superbikes. But Thornton it is that leads from number 57, Strafford. That looked like Nick Williamson, and he is on that Suzuki. Nick Williamson doesn't seem like he can make his mind up what bike he's going to be on in each round. It's listed in the programme as a Honda. Of course, he has been out there on Hondas, but that looks very much like a Suzuki to me that Nick Williamson is out there on in this race. Thornton it is that leads from Strafford and number 6 Williamson. Then it's number 99, Graham Ward. There's 121, that's Martin Stanier, former Street Fighter champion. There's Howdell and Harrison. In the commentary box with me here is Thundersport Syd, and Syd, double points on offer here. Funny weather conditions though, started off dry here. There's Dieterman, who seems to just be gingerly making his way around these opening laps, but on a few of the camera lenses I've noticed a few spots of rain, and you can just see, can't you, from the wind movement and the trees that we're going to get some rain at some point.
Yeah, it's very touch and go the weather here today, and one thing's for sure, John Dieterman is no mug, is he? Saying that, it's nice to see Ryan having a go at the front. He's no mug either, and he's struggled with the setup on this SP1. So he's having a go. I like to see it. He's been sponsored by Continental tyres, and they seem to be working really well for him. But when you think there's nobody else out there on one of these Hondas, you know, there's good reason for that. So, but he's stuck with it, you know, and fair play.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of bikes to get on with. Dieterman moved up a few places. He seems to have got himself into gear. Stedman as well in the middle of the mix. There is Strafford that Sid was talking about on the Continental-backed Honda. Just a quick reminder, if you're used to watching these races, Golden Era Superbike, and you're wondering where Richie Blunt is, of course a former champion of this class, runner-up from last year. He's off racing in Spa, I believe, this weekend, so hasn't been able to make it. And it's double points on offer as well, so it's a big one to miss. It was around this time last year where Richard Blunt's championship took a huge blow in the second double points race. Unfortunately, mechanical failure, and that really just started John Dieterman off to his challenge. Further back in this race there is Lee Eubank and Brad Davey, number 14 there on an MV Augusta 750. An interesting device to say the least. There's Martin Stanier then, number 121 from Stoke-on-Trent. At least he won't have too far to travel home. And John Dieterman losing another place. It's raining hard now. It is raining hard here in this Golden Era Superbike race. There's Nick Williamson. I'll tell you what, Sid, I wonder if one or two of these riders started the race out there on slicks, because if they did, they're going to find it pretty tough going here. Yeah,
and of course, being declared a wet race, it doesn't have to be stopped for climatic conditions. So yeah, it's like the choice. What choice did you make? But I don't know who would have gone
John
out there.
Dieterman there, Sid, sorry, John Dieterman's got his arm up in the air, so I wonder if he's gone for slicks and he just doesn't want to risk it. Nick Williamson's bike's moving all over the place, so I would imagine he's got slicks on. Of course, these guys will have had... someone just gone down there. There's a marshal running, and yeah, there's a rider down. Graham Ward. Graham Ward has gone down now. You can see there, not slicks, but they're not exactly going to be the grippiest option in these conditions at the moment. The rain really coming down. Rider okay. Just being attended to there by a marshal that looked very much like Crocodile Dundee. There is number 6, Nick Williamson. Williamson! Oulton's gone down and Williamson's gone straight on as well. It's greasy here at Oulton Park, really greasy. And that bike's going to be a mess there for Richie Thornton to put back together again. Unfortunately, not enough heat in those tyres. There's a rider pulling in the top of your shot as well. Is that Williamson? I'm not sure. Here's Martin Stanier then. Can't keep up with this race at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen. There's Dieterman, who's, despite putting his arm up earlier, is persevering. Kev Howdle is always there somewhere, isn't he? He's just loving it. He doesn't really care. He's not part of the championship. He's just going for it. There is number 95, Adam Horton. Nice looking machine there, a new colour scheme for Adam. Certainly stands out from the crowd, and he's up into second place. So Stanley's leading. Horton now in second. Kev Howdle on circuit is third. There's Ryan Strafford. He's fought his way up into fourth place ahead of the championship leader, John Dieterman. And with double points on offer, this is a real head scratcher as to who will end up as the race winner here. There's Vince Carlton, 37. 83 is Ben Hollingworth, just putting a challenge there on Richie Harrison. You can see the riders here just taking it easy, avoiding the white lines. It's not hard to see what riders have gone for the drier tyres. Martin Stanier there. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if all of these guys have got dry options on. There's certainly no one that would have started this race with wet.
I doubt that, but of course they could have gone for intermediates. They're allowed intermediates. Tyre choices free in Golden Era Superbikes.
Well, I should just point out, for those of you that are tuning in and wondering who those tones belong to, it is Syd, the East Anglian tones, and we are talking behind the scenes about getting some sort of translator scheme in, just in case you can't understand what he's talking about. Those Norfolk tones sometimes are a real struggle.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Here is Ryan Strafford just making his way through Lodge Corner. Vince Carlton there with a tight line, trying to go up the inside of Richie Harrison. There is John Dieterman, who's just about hanging on in there. It's Stanier on circuit that leads. Former Street Fighter champion is Stanier. And he's up ahead of a Street Fighter bike at the moment in Kev Howdle, whose eyes must be lighting up here as he could win this race outright. He's well up for it. There he is, up ahead of Adam Horton and then Ryan Strafford. These riders all got various experience in different classes. Howdle leads outright. Kev Howdle, L'Oreal Kev, is flying out front. It's because he's worth it, obviously. And up through Shell Oils we go. Ryan Strafford thought about a late move up the inside of Stanier there. Of course, these two know each other very well. They fought each other in the Street Fighters Championship for a few seasons. And Adam Horton, an ex-Thundersport 500 rider, so he's been involved in more than a few tussles in all sorts of conditions in the past before. And Adam Horton at the moment looks like one of the faster riders of this group. So it's Kev Howdle that leads this one outright. Now I should just point out that Kev Howdle doesn't feature in this championship. He's on a Street Fighter, effectively, so he's just out there having fun.
Yeah, there's no class for Kev, and but he's been with us forever, since God was a boy, and he loves to come and race with us. But I can tell you that if he wins this race outright, then class or not, I will have him up on the top step.
We just see there Rob Heritage. It looks like he's going to pull out. There are a few Superbike freshmen out there that have overruns from the GP1 class because we've got such a large GP1 grid. In case you're wondering what a few newer looking bikes are out there. Now this is starting to dry up almost. You can just see riders getting a bit more confident. Stratford now goes to the top of the pile. Stanier drops down to third. Oulton still there in fourth. Idle dropped to second. Now look who's coming through. All of a sudden, a bit more heat in the tyres and the confidence seeping through the veins of John Dieterman, number 1, who is right up onto the tailpipe now of Adam Horton. And all of a sudden, his eyes are lighting up and all of his Christmases are coming at once because he'll just suddenly realise earlier on, I want to be out of this race. And now he's thinking, I can have 50 points here. Championship could be wrapped up by the end of this one.
With the wind and the sunshine, the heat of the track underneath, it's just unbelievable how quickly this track drives. And it caught everybody out almost to a man in qualifying yesterday.
John Dieterman is eating everyone alive here. He's just made up 3 or 4 places in a few corners. Vince Carlton's race, unfortunately, has come to an end. The Market Raisin rider on that beautiful looking Ducati is out. Now then, John Dieterman chases down Ryan Stratford, and this is for the outright win and 50 points. Stratford, who has been longing to get himself back on that top step for such a long time, will be thinking at the moment, nobody passed me, nobody passed me. But, unfortunately for him, John Dieterman is on a mission. There is John Gibson from Peterborough. Another of those Ducatis. I'll tell you what, those Ducatis,
Beautiful
they still look lovely now, don't they?
That is a particularly lovely one.
Stratford here then with the race lead on his Honda. Then it's Dieterman on a charge. Stanier back into third ahead of Horton. Then it's Howdle who's dropped back a bit. That looks like Richie Harrison going up the inside. Number 83 is Ben Hollingworth. He's out there. He's one of our Royal Marine riders on a Honda. He's one of the freshman GP1 riders, so he's having some fun out there. It looks like he's well on his way to winning that particular category. But with time running out, can John Dieterman get past Ryan Stratford? You know, some people would be thinking right now, well, Stratford's not a direct threat to me in this championship. Second will be fine. Not John Dieterman.
No, John will still want this. He loves to win. It's what he does it for. Him and John Senior, his dad, spend hours and hours and hours on this bike. Most of it is built by his dad. Some of the parts hand-built, in fact. Absolutely brilliant, but they are racers and they do want to win. Nice couple of chaps.
Dieterman goes past Stratford then, and he made relatively light work of that. Unfortunately, Stratford may not have an answer. Dieterman's on a mission, and look at that. He's already through, and he's already built up a couple of tenths of a second lead. Stratford will fight for a few corners, but I think even he knows here that second place is about the best he can hope for. And John Dieterman, who had his arm in the air about 5 or 6 laps ago, all of a sudden now faces the checkered flag with 50 points written all over it. And that really could be a massive, massive moment for him in the championship. Coming into this weekend, he was, let's just see, 62 points clear, 62 points clear, I believe, in the championship overall. And, well, he'll extend that because Nick Williamson at the moment, well, he went out earlier on. I think he pulled in, he went straight on. Massive moment here for Dieterman. He could be well over 100 points clear overall.
I thought that was a bit early for John to be waving at the crowd.
The last lap flag goes out there for John Dieterman, and he'll be waving at the crowd in a moment in celebration, or will he? Because Ryan Stratford here has not given this one up just yet.
He thinks there's a chance, doesn't he, does Ryan?
Good opportunity here for Ryan Stratford, of course. He could do with this for the confidence more than anything else. It has been a tough old slog for Stratford since jumping onto that Honda. Now then, through Island Bend, Stratford closing in again. Will Dieterman afford a peek over his shoulder just to see who's there? Around Shell Oils we go, and Stratford's thinking about going the long way round. Number 57 there in second place, the rider from Murfield. And now we come up towards Britain Chicane. He's not close enough here. If Dieterman has any idea that his lead has been significantly cut. They exit Britain's, go past a bit of traffic, now down into Hezzy's. Stratford's just trying to get himself close enough to pull off a move. Dieterman now just turning up the wick a bit could be close. Oh, Strafford a bit wide on the exit there of one of the turns here at his. He's going to have to be an awful lot closer than that if he wants to get past him. At the back there, Matt Gowan, who's also been racing this weekend in the Golden Era Supersport class, is enjoying himself out here. Matt currently just inside the top 10, but here we go then. John Dieterman, well, unfortunately for Ryan Strafford, Dieterman's just been too good for him on this final lap. They come around the final turn, Lodge Corner, and in race 1, it's the checkered flag and the race win. 50 points to the champion. John Dieterman wins race 1 here at Oulton Park. Good, solid second place though for Ryan Strafford. And in third in the background, it's going to be Richie Harrison, who had a late charge himself and fought past the likes of Hollingworth, Stanier and Horton to take third. Brilliant stuff for him. Hollingworth was the freshman class winner there. And of course, a quick mention also for Kev Howdle, a solid effort for him. Top 3 in the Superbike class, then Dieterman, Strafford and Harrison. And in that freshman's, it's Hollingworth from Pollard and Blackburn.
John, winner, how was that?
That was an hard race, that. We set off on the first lap and I know I had a lead. And then it started to rain and I just had to back right off. I didn't want to crash. I didn't know what track conditions and everybody's passing me. I'm like, oh my God. But slowly, I thought, well, it's not too bad. And we decided to try to push to the front, and a brilliant race with Ryan. I really enjoyed that race. It was nip and tuck. It rained one corner, then not the next, and then it would bounce down one corner. We're all on slicks.
You were all on slicks?
All on slicks, yeah. Me and Ryan were on Continental. Really good tyres. Not the ideal conditions for slicks, but they helped us get through.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant. And who do you want to thank?
Back seating, my mum and dad, Janet, my wife, Reece, my son, everybody who's helped us out. Continental tyres, TW suspension. You've all done an awesome job, so thank you. Oh, and everyone who came to watch us today from Baxi, so thank you.
Ben, what a great win. You must be over the moon with that.
I am very happy with that, Sid, yes. I missed out on testing earlier in the weekend, so straight in at qualifying, that was wet, so that was very difficult. I had a bit of a nightmare, pretty much last on the grid. So I had absolutely nothing to lose but just go for it on turn 1. Which I did, managed to make up quite a few places, and then the race just seemed to come to us as it developed. The variable weather conditions, people seemed to back off, but I was ready for a win or bin this time.
Well, you've made the Royal Navy very proud, I'm sure, Motorsport Division. And anybody else to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Royal Marines Charitable Trust Fund, all the people who get behind the Royal Marines team. I'd like to thank my dad for sponsoring me a few sets of tyres. Definitely the missus, couldn't have done it without her support. And THR, Motorsport Boss, and just everyone who's helped me out this weekend and throughout the season.
What will John Dieterman do with his championship lead? Race 2 coming up in a moment.
You don't stand in front of a mirror before a race and wonder what the track will think of your leathers. You don't have to listen to his jokes and pretend they're funny in order to race on it. It would not be easier to race if your leathers looked sexier. Track doesn't notice if you're not racing the best bike. The track does not care how old you are or how much money you make. The track does not make you feel uncomfortable when you ride other tracks. And you can call on the track. Whenever you feel like it. been 6 months, 3 months, or even just a couple of weeks since your last date. The only thing the track cares about is that you pay it a visit once in a while. Dymag. No games, just performance.
Race 2 for the Dymag Wheels Golden Era Superbikes, and it's fair to say that it's raining. It's pretty horrible out there. John Dieterman, the championship leader, is wringing wet already. There is Richie Thornton. A few gaps on the grid after the crash or two in race 1, but there's certainly no doubting the tyre choice here for this one. Richard Stedman there, number 35, looks set and ready to go. The lights are on. We're ready to go racing. Double points on offer once more here, and away from the line we go. A bit of a stop-start there for John Dieterman. But as they go into turn 1, Dieterman will have the advantage ahead of Thornton. Stanier just on the outside there, maybe moving into third. There is 86, John Gibson. He was further back in race 1. There's Thornton then. He went out earlier on, hence why he's got a slightly different coloured bodywork, because he smashed his bike up down at Lodge Corner. Number 70 further back is Andy Ashcroft from St Helens, one of our rookies. Of course, the rookies with the orange vests on. And there are some GP1 overrun freshman riders out there as well. Ben Hollingworth, the winner earlier on, number 83. There he is, just out on circuit ahead of another one, number 188, Rob Heritage. Certainly going to learn quite a bit, unfortunately, in these conditions. It's really dark here at Oulton Park now. Those grey clouds came in and there was just no stopping the rain. Richie Harrison there, just going through the bottom of your picture. Of course, Richie on the podium in race 1. But these are those sorts of conditions that you don't actually really like racing in, but some riders just seem to be a little better than others in full wet. At least it's not full, those sort of half dry, half wet conditions. John Dieterman then it is, the champion and championship leader, that has the advantage over Stedman, who looks confident in the early stages of this one, looking like he's got a smooth riding style, which will give him quite an advantage here. These early stages of a race will be all about just keeping and retaining and getting the heat into those tyres. Once you do that, you'll be amazed what sort of grip you can get from the wets. And it is Dieterman that has the advantage so far from number 35, Stedman. 1-2-1 on the right of your picture is Stanier. Then it's Thornton, Horton, then Harrison, Carlton, Strafford, Nick Williamson is here. Williamson on his RBM Suzuki unfortunately had to pull out earlier on, and he might not fancy this at this rate either. It doesn't look particularly pretty out there. Stedman it is that now goes out into the lead then. I wonder how much of a fight Dieterman will be willing to put up there. He's gone onto the rumble strips here in the wet, which will feel like ice, and unfortunately now drops down to third place. So Stanier now has got himself up there. Who else is making good progress in these conditions? Thornton looks pretty solid. Adam Horton likewise. Always see one or two surprising names appearing. Stedman is a good rider, experienced rider. Richard Stedman from Skegness on the Dale Sports Services at Yamaha. He's a rider that's been in this championship for a number of years and would probably fancy his chances here ahead of Stanier and Dieterman. Then it's a bit of a gap back to Adam Horton. Syd's here with me in the commentary box. Syd, these conditions are just awful, really. I mean, it's lucky that we've got a roof on our heads here in the commentary box, because you just don't want to be out there, do you, in this?
I'm glad I'm sitting here in the dry, I've got to say. Just made me smile. I think it's John Gibson on the back of his leathers. He's got the dentist in the style of Valentino Rossi's The Doctor. It's so funny.
Well, one presumes he's obviously a dentist by trade then. We'll have to find out. Or he gets to make
one at a time, who knows?
On board here now, this gives you the perfect example of what it's like behind a screen on a motorcycle. In these, it is not nice at all. Ryan Strafford here, of course, former Street Fighter champion with Thundersport around. Druid's Corner. So difficult to see, and of course, if you're directly behind another bike, the spray means it's almost impossible. Another issue, as you can see from Stania's point of view there, not so much Stedman, is this age-old problem, Syd, with visors steaming up, and even now, in 2016, it is something that even riders at the very top level cannot seem to get rid of.
I'm surprised they haven't come up with kind of a heated visor of some description, something to get over that problem. Because as you say, the spray is nothing compared with steaming up problem, isn't it?
Well, steaming up problems you've seen at the very highest level can cost you races, and you see there that Stania's got a few issues with that. Vince Carlton is making good progress. A couple of places further back, his visor looks like it might be steaming up a bit as well. Just awful conditions. But at the moment, Stedman is on for 50 points. Now, Richard Stedman in the championship doesn't feature in the top 10, so he'll be after that trophy. He doesn't attend every round, Stedman, but when he does turn up, he's usually up there. Same for Stania, really. Stania, since moving from the Street Fighters, pops in from time to time, but a good rider, very versatile, always finds his way at the front of races. He was pretty handy on a Suzuki in his time in the Street Fighter A category when Street Fighters were here at Thundersport.
And, apparently he doesn't need to see in the wet.
Clearly not. There you can see Nick Williamson just going past Ryan Strafford, and you can even see literally tiptoeing around here, Ryan Strafford down in second gear at the moment. You can see his gear shifter. This will be a right handful in the wet, this machine. Ryan Strafford here looks like he's really, really struggling in it. There's Ben Hollingworth, number 83, the freshman winner from earlier in the GP1 class, but Stedman leads this race out right from Stania, number 121. Then in third place at the moment, we should have, as they come across the line, John Dieterman, yeah, there he is. Then Adam Horton, he's got a bit of front end wobble going on there. Then it's Thornton and Carlton. Here we are with Strafford, just being overtaken by another one. Clearly not comfortable here, Syd.
No, he won't like this. As you say, this is a real handful. Lots of torque this machine's got. It's just not nice at all. He won't want much of this. It's a real shame because he's a good racer, is Ryan, and he's stuck with this bike through and through, and I'm really surprised that he hasn't dropped it and gone for something else.
No, that said, you can still see though, and it's rare actually to see that as we look at the camera with Ryan Strafford. You can see not only the gear shifters, but you can see the temperature. You can see, I think it's miles per hour, it might be kilometres, but it just shows you how quick he's still going. Even though at the moment it might look like he's tiptoeing around, these guys are still shifting. I mean, you wouldn't want to be on the back of them.
No, this is fast. You know, it's you wouldn't want to be going this fast if you're a non-racer. But the tyres do deliver good grip. You know, for what they are, they're nice and soft, and they do grip the tarmac well. And so it's quite surprising compared with a road tyre. Yeah, I mean, Ryan's on Continentals, as is John Dieterman now. So they're a very, very good tyre. Graham Miranda Paddock's done a great job delivering these and supporting several riders. He likes his old second gear, doesn't he, Ryan?
Well, around hizzies, I don't know what else you're going to be into. And here he goes. You can see him now just climbing up through the gears. Up to 100 miles an hour already through Knickerbrook. And then around Druid's Corner as well. It's fascinating to see what sort of speeds he was going to get up to there. It's quite rare, isn't it, Syd, these days, to actually see a mile an hour counter on the dashboard of any race bike.
Disconnected now, don't they? But,
you don't want to know how quick you're going normally, that's the thing.
Put a piece of tape over it.
There's Richard Stedman then. Well, he's just got eyes for the race win here. He's been smooth, he's been brilliant. He's not put a foot wrong, and all he's done is build his lead over the rest. There's Brad Davey, he's just been lapped. Here Stanier is in second place. The man still on the move at the moment is Vince Carlton. He's actually the fastest man on circuit on that Ducati. Keep an eye out for him, number 37, because the rain's coming down harder now. In the background there, John Dieterman still in third, but Vince Carlton is on that last lap and was a couple of seconds quicker than anyone else. There goes Steadman then, race leader. Huge lead for him. We focus on the exit there of Shell Oils. There is 1-2-1 Stanier. Then it's number 1, John Dieterman in third.
Yeah, I reckon John was going to, when it's really wet like this, he knows how easy it is to sling it down the road. I would imagine he's going to go for points collection, with it being double points, and the guys in front of him are not featuring heavily, are they, in the championship?
A bit of a moment there for Steadman. I said I hadn't put a foot wrong, but just a moment there for him. Number 95, Adam Horton here. He's got a bit on his case. He's trying to chase down. In fact, that was Vince Carlton. So Carlton's got past Thornton and got past Horton, and now he's going to start his charge to try and find the top 3. It's probably a tall order to ask him to maybe find his way to the podium from here, but in these conditions you can make a lot more time up than you can if it was in the dry.
Well, of course, once you get these wet tyres up to a certain temperature, they begin to grip more and more and more, and it's kind of a snowball effect, and then the faster you go, the more confidence you get, and so on and so forth. When you tiptoe round, it's, you know, it has the opposite effect.
Here comes Nick Williamson then, second in the championship overall, but unfortunately he's going to find himself with a bit of a mountain to climb if he's to chase down number 1, John Dieterman. And look at this, Carlton has got on terms with Dieterman now, and he will challenge for third place. Well, he's been lapping 3 seconds exactly quicker than John Dieterman, so I don't think Dieterman's going to have an answer for him. Now, Carlton is in a position where he could also catch Martin Stanier for second, but he will not be able to catch Steadman, I don't think, with Steadman going at the current rate he is. There is Carlton. Look at that. He's already got past Dieterman, and now he chases down Martin Stanier. So what a race this is from Vince Carlton, 10th in the championship. I don't believe we've seen him on the podium in this class before. He's got a few visor steam up issues as well. Maybe he can't see his braking points, and so he's just flying into the corner. That's really unfair of me, sorry, Vin. This is a brilliant ride from him.
That is an excellent ride. But you see, he's just comfortable with that machine, that tyre choice and everything. He's just happy. And once you get to that point, as you say, I don't know whether he's going to be good enough to catch Richard Steadman. I don't know if there's enough time left in this race, but I mean, I think that yeah, it was he about 1.5 seconds a lap faster, roughly.
Yeah, there's not enough time left in this race, unfortunately, for him to get the race win. There's a couple of laps left here. Steadman goes across the line there, and we still can't see the guys in second and third, so it would be some few laps from Vince Carlton if he was to try and chase down Steadman, who looks pretty comfortable out there. Now then, here we go. Battle for second. Stanier at the moment has it. He looks over his shoulder. It was a big look as well, and he'll see a face full of a number 37 Ducati 996. Here it comes. Beautiful sounding and looking machine, and it will not be long before we see that Ducati in second place. I'll tell you what, Sid, here's a question for you. When was the last time we saw a Ducati as high up as this on the podium in a Golden Era Superbike race? Of course, it's been largely dominated by Yamahas and Kawasaki's. Not seeing too many Ducatis up there, not for a long time.
Anglesey was the last time that we saw one. We saw a winner there, did we?
Quite possibly. Certainly not this season. Vince Carlton then, the rider from Market Raisin, hails from the same place as Phil Crowe. Certainly would give Phil Crowe a good run for his money at this moment in time. Here he is, coming through Hizzies. Stanier might just try. It looked like the rider just gone straight on there at the bottom of your picture. Missed his braking point. But, well, here we go. These riders here are about to, and look, if they get lapped, they might do. Stedman here coming up towards his final lap. He's certainly going to put a lap on Rob Heritage. Around Lodge Corner in ugly conditions here at Oulton Park, and the last lap flag is waiting for it. I'll tell you what, he will be relieved to see that. Each lap will feel like a year at the moment. There's Adam Horton, number 95, and Nick Williamson making up a place on Richie Thornton. Both these riders found it tough here at this corner last time out, but Nick Williamson moves up into 5th place. Remember, double points on offer, so 5th is worth 22. Stedman here is going to pick up 50 by the looks of things. Vince Carlton looks set for 40. Stanier for 32, and the championship leader John Dieterman, despite looking like he'll finish in 4th, will extend his lead even further in the championship before we head to Rockingham next month. And hopefully, Sid, let's keep our fingers crossed for an entire dry weekend, because we've struggled a bit, haven't we, with this weather.
Yeah, Rockingham's not been the best for dry weekends, though, has it?
Oh, it was ugly last year, wasn't it, Rockingham? Yeah. It was really tipping down, much like this, in fact. So that made life very difficult for a number of riders. Here comes Stedman then. He's just put a lap on John Gibson. He's got that smooth action on the throttle, which is what required in these conditions. It's getting worse, this weather. It will not stop.
It is bad now.
I mean, these bikes are good in the wet, and of course the tyres are up to a decent temperature, but this is starting to resemble a river out here. Luckily, it is the final lap, and so hopefully all these riders will make it round safely to the finish line. But that really is hammering it down there on the exit of Druids and down towards Lodge Corner. But this has been a brilliant ride. If you want to know how to ride in the wet and race in the wet and take a win in the wet, look back at this one from Stedman. Perfect from start to finish. Checkered flag out, thoroughly deserves that, and deserves his trophy at the end of it as well. He takes the win. Vince Carlton does take 2nd place. Well done to him. A change here last minute for Thornton, who goes up the inside of Adam Horton. Can he get it to stick? It looks like he will. Stanier finished in 3rd. Dieterman was in 4th place, and Nick Williamson finishes in 5th, having gone past Richie Thornton a little earlier on. Top 3 on your podium then. The Dale Sports Services Yamaha rider Richard Stedman, the race winner from Vince Carlton and Martin Stanier, and in the freshmen's Andrew Pollard, Ben Hollingworth and Rob Heritage. Looking at the championship standings going into Rockingham, no surprise to see that man at the very top. Over 100 points now his lead, ahead of Nick Williamson, with Strafford in 3rd, Harrison 4th, Richie Thornton 5th, and Richard Blunt, absent, dropped all the way down to 6th. And in the GP1 freshman, Ben Hollingworth it is that has a 31 point lead ahead of Andrew Pollard.
Richard, such a tough race there. You did so well.
Yeah, we've had a bit rough all weekend with the weather, to be fair, and we was about ready to go out, and the Evans opened and there's a lot of standing water, but hey, we come round, won it, so happy days.
Well, you know what they say, it brings all the best riders out. Have you got anyone to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that helps me, really. Jeff Johnson and all the sponsors, really. Dale Sports, Silkleen especially, everybody else, and Ratty especially for building a good engine again. Thanks a lot, appreciate that. Andrew,
prevailed in, well, monsoon conditions, really. That must have been awful.
Yeah, there's plenty of water out there today. Really, really difficult conditions. Got a setup on the bike that just about worked, I think. Well, it did. So we're just glad to bring it back, really.
Excellent. You got some sponsors to thank.
Yeah, Ian Rhodes from Roads and Track in Northampton does all the setup on the bike, and the pit crew is normal. Sam, Zach, Philippa. I couldn't do it without you, so thanks a lot.
That's it from us here at a very soggy Oulton Park. Let's hope for some sunshine next time out at Rockingham. We'll see you there.